people assume that that is alcohol, but it may be other things, right?
That's correct. Yeah, driving under the influence. It could be narcotics. It could be alcohol. It could be just prescription drugs that have, infected
Cannabis.
this person in a way. And also, you have to always think too, a medical condition that has had this. Now, a diabetic in a diabetic state will act just like somebody who is intoxicated with alcohol. And you have to be really careful on things like that, and they will drive just like that. But this person here, as you can see, maintaining the lanes really well, for making the turns smoothly, and there's not any jerkiness to the driving or anything of that sort. But CHP is just going to, wait and see what this driver is going to do. And yes, they'll can do the pit maneuver, they can do the spike strips at these speeds, a lot of things in the toolbox that they can use. But right now, there just seems like they're going to stay behind it, follow it till it comes to an end, or the driver decides just to pull over and stop. But there may be an opportunity here if he starts to make a turn or gets into an area where CHP feels comfortable with a pit. They will do it. But,
well, that's
CHP
through a red light right there, so the driver is not following all the traffic laws.
Yeah, and when he says a pit maneuver, that means a pursuit intervention technique, which is typically done like between 50 miles an hour, where the officers will drive up and basically spin the car from the side to try to stop it from moving forward and intervene in that pursuit and bring it to an end. Sometimes they work, they don't always work. They usually try to do that in an area where there isn't a lot of other stuff around, including cars, certainly people, that could potentially get hit. So is there an open area where they can move in and do that and try to bring this thing to an end, or do they sort of let it go? And I'm curious, Tim, their thought process, is law enforcement less aggressive if the suspect is less aggressive?
It all depends. It all depends on what's going on with the suspect. What we don't know is what intelligence they have on the driver. They may know who this driver is, and the car may be registered in this area, and at this point they're playing the cards that maybe that person will just drive home and pull into their driveway. We've seen that multiple times. So they have a lot more information than we do here in the media, so they're going to work with that information. Now, as far as when a pit maneuver is done, if the officer, as the lead car, has been authorized to do the pit, that officer will make the determination when that pit is done. He'll radio to the two cars behind him, stand by, I'm going to take him at the next intersection, or I'm going to do...
And Tim, let me just interject and say that was sort of an interesting time period. I guess
Here we go.
The car,
Here we go.
There
it is.
There's the pit.
At least an attempt. There it is. Just as you called it. And now the driver's moving backwards.
Will it be enough to disable the driver completely?
Is the driver done?
Disable the car. Yeah, hopefully the jam cars will come in and jam the side and the front to keep him from going away. Because what normally happens on his vehicle, if the computer determines that the car is going backward in drive, normally it will shut off the fuel and turn off the engine. It's a safety feature that most cars have now. So right now they're going to have to wait and see what goes on here. Now the driver can restart that car with ease and drive out of this. That's why I was saying they should have a jam car maybe a little bit closer in there so they can disable or block it from going. But hopefully the pet driver now cooperates, gives up, gets out of the car.
Hand out of the window. That suggests that the driver will cooperate with the police, at least at this point. The next step is to see the driver actually come out of the car. And again, I just want to remind the people, if you're just tuning into this police pursuit, what looks to be the end of the police pursuit, this suspect, the driver in this vehicle, is accused of hitting a police officer before taking off on this pursuit. The fact that it is now stopped, the car is now stopped thanks to 2 hits by a law enforcement car, CHP car, that has put us in this place right now, South Atlantic Avenue and East Rosecrans in Compton.
Right.
So we're watching to see whether the driver will come out and follow the orders, which includes hands up, get out of the car. You notice that the police officers are behind their doors
Yeah,
waiting to
because
see what happens next.
Because of what this person has already accused of doing. I mean, we didn't see that part ourselves with the chopper. If they've already rammed a police officer with the car, you know, they have to worry about the idea that he could just keep driving and drive right into their car right now too. As we, you know, it's tough to get a good sense in that car. It looks like it's probably one driver and not a passenger, but hard to tell exactly from this situation.
Yeah, it looked like there was something, at least something on the passenger side, but perhaps not a person. Meantime, after seeing the one hand come out of the vehicle, we haven't seen anything else that suggests that the driver is thinking, okay, time to get out and surrender.
Yeah.
Did you see all those CHP officers out with their guns drawn?
I mean, there's nothing, Tim, to stop this guy from turning the car on, putting the car in reverse, spinning around, and keeping going, right? I mean, there's nobody.
Unless the car's
Absolutely
disabled somehow. I mean, like,
Well,
you know, mechanically disabled.
Well, more likely, unless it has the emergency shut off on the gas where you have to manually reset the pump, normally it's just the computer shuts off the engine. Now, if you put it into park, turn off the key, turn it back on, it will start. But some of the vehicles nowadays have a system that actually turns off the pump for the fuel to come to the engine. So if it's that, it has to be mechanically reset. But with the guy's propensity, if they talk to the person's propensity from what they talked about at the beginning of this, where he rammed a Chino officer, this is not a good place you want to be. And hopefully they would bring in somebody to get a little bit closer to block his path towards the officers. The best part would be for him to make the U-turn and go the other way if he's going to do that. But it looks like the CHP has pulled out the ballistic shield, and they're going to go up in their conga line, as we call it, and work their way up. But you're hanging yourself out pretty much. That's what I call it.
Like ole
That's what you call it. That's
like
not
ole.
Yeah.
police
Yes,
speak.
exactly. You put your
One
hand
after
on
the
the man
other.
in front of you.
Here they go.
You see your hand?
Okay, so the first officer has the shield in front of him, but you have two other officers with their gun drawn right behind, and then other officers farther behind.
Yeah, so this is the dangerous time now, trying to open that door.
You
Clearly,
see?
the suspect is not allowing them to do it. It looks
But
like
he
the
does
door
have
is
his hands up.
So are they going to break the window? And this is tense moments here.
Oh.
Boom. Okay, so now they're done.
They're breaking through.
that window. You can imagine the glass is shattering at this potential suspect too. They're not letting this happen. And this suspect has to know they are not playing. So now doors open. My guess is they're going to pull this guy. He's out. Is that the airbag? It's hard to tell if the airbag deployed during that whole thing.
It's possible.
And they are not playing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 or 5 on them.
Tim, that is a very different type of conga line than what I think of with like Gloria Stefan and the Miami Sound Machine.
All right.
Well,
the other officers are checking the vehicle to make sure there's nobody else inside. There could be a passenger inside.
In this case, with this guy, the rhythm did get him. They're now under arrest. Yeah, it's hard to tell if that was the airbag or not, and it doesn't look like there's anybody else in the car as far as they know, but they're going to check all the compartments and make sure there's nobody else in there. Tim, somebody who is accused of ramming an officer, I know the officers are especially aggressive in going after that kind of person, right?
Well, you're on high alert when you go up there. My prior law enforcement experience and my feelings were very high there when they were hanging themselves out there to dry between the police cars and the suspect vehicle. You're in really no man's land when you walk out. And when I talk about the conga line, you have each officer puts their hand on the officer in front of him, and you go out in a straight line.
And that's what we saw.
What it was called. So, but when they got up there and the doors locked, the windows there, now you have 5 or 6 officers standing out in the open. And like we were talking, had this driver decided to back away or drive away, it could have been a completely different scenario. But hopefully the CHP had a lot of information on this driver. Maybe they were in contact with him. They figured a mental state that this person was in and felt safe to walk up there and approach the car when he still had control of the vehicle. So Yeah, not your standard suspect in custody, but luckily nobody hurt at the end, and everybody's going to go home safe tonight.
Police Specialist Tim Lynn, thank you very much for your help on this one. The pursuit has come to an end. Suspect in custody.
Now to sports with Kyle Kraska.
Fox 11 Sports Desk, sponsored by Spectrum. A connection built for everywhere. That's life unlimited. That's Spectrum.
All right, we're going to provide some excitement. He didn't exactly take the night off. Japanese artist Takashi Murakami on hand for Japanese Heritage Night. And then this, Teoscar Hernandez continuing his hot streak, up 3-zip in the fifth, skies it to left. It just gets over the wall. They call that a wall scraper. Teo's fourth home run in 5 games, Dodgers up 5-zip. Dustin May had a good start, got pulled in the 6th with a 5-1 lead. Anthony Banda trying to escape a jam, but Dane Myers connects on a fastball, drilling it to left center for a pinch hit grand slam, and just like that, it's tied. May credited with 2 of those 4 runs. This thing went to extra innings. Top of the 10th here with a man on third. Jesus Sanchez drives it to right center. Andy Pages can't quite field it cleanly, so a run scores easily, and Miami leads 6-5. But bottom of the 10th, Tommy Edman up with runners in scoring position. And Tommy Tanks does it again, rips it to right. Michael Conforto and Pages scores. Tommy Tanks with his first walk-off as a Dodger. The Blue Crew winning in exciting fashion tonight. 7-6 was the final. All right, and now the results of our poll question of the night. I asked you earlier,